Oh, it's right above him, and he's huge. Somebody call a doctor because bad medicine is back. That's the Appleton Oak. I'm Mason Quinn. Guys, tonight we are finally wrapping up House of the Dragon with episode 10. It's been a wild ride. I cannot wait to see what goes on, especially after what we saw in that last episode.
They have absolutely just crushed it this entire season. Expectations were really high. Episode after episode after episode, they have delivered, and they have really, really built it up to this final episode of the first season, and I am pumped.
So without any further ado, Oak is wearing his shoes, so I can't see his feet. Let's go!
Jesus.
It's kind of neat. We're starting with a map, kind of how we used to in Game of Thrones. Gosh, we really haven't seen a map yet of where everything is, have we? Kind of the layout of the realm.
The sea snake is going to die, isn't he?
Luke.
It can't be Lord of the Tides. I get green sick before the ship even leaves the harbour. I'll just ruin everything. It should have passed on to Sir Aemond.
We don't choose our destiny, Luke. It chooses us. I was 4 and 10, same as you are now. I wasn't ready to be Queen of the Seven Kingdoms. It was my duty.
Not like you. Perfect.
I am anything but.
Good morrow, Princess.
Good morrow, Sir Laurent.
Princess Rhaenys has just arrived on Dragonback.
Oh, here we go.
Boy. You know, Rhaenyra's boys are really stand-up individuals from what we've seen so far.
Quite contrary to Alicent and the King's young gentleman.
Yep.
Viserys is dead. I grieve this loss with you, Rhaenyra. Possessed a kind heart.
And there's some other news.
Something else you ought to know.
There is more. Aegon has been crowned as his successor.
Uh-oh.
How did Viserys die?
How long ago?
A day past, perhaps two. I was made a prisoner in my quarters while the Queen made her preparations.
Viserys has been slain.
Alicent demanded you declare for Aegon.
I refused her.
And yet you are alive.
Well, you should have been there.
The High Septon crowned Aegon in the Dragon Pit.
That whore of a queen murdered my brother and stole his throne.
A war is like to be fought over this treachery, to be sure, but that war is not mine to begin.
Well, that's a good point.
The Greens are coming for you, Rhaenyra, and for your children. You should leave Dragonstone at once.
Oh, shh. This is not good. The water just break? Oh, God.
Her term is far from complete. This should not be happening.
Oh, it's premature.
Oh, get off! Get off! Get off! Ow.
I want patrols along the island's perimeter looking for any small ships that might set ashore. We don't have enough men to surround the island, but we can make ourselves appear stronger than they are.
Oh, these guys are practicing with live rounds.
Your lady mother needs to see you.
Princess,
Your grandsire, King Viserys, has passed. Aegon has been crowned king.
And where is Daemon?
I don't know. Gone to plot his war. Viserys! Whatever claim remains to me, you are now its heir.
Yeah, don't do anything rash.
A raven flew in this morning. The sea snake's fever is broken and he has left Edenfall.
where is he sailing?
That much is unclear, my prince.
Do you want to speak to the maester, my prince?
My mother has decreed no action be taken while she's in bed.
It's good you're here, young prince.
Did you hear what I said?
The ravens, Lord Artemis. Our King's Guard are needed on the Dragonland.
Oh, boy.
You swore an oath as knights of the King's Guard.
I swore first to King Jehedit.
Do you acknowledge the true line of succession?
Yes, my prince.
King Viserys named as his heir before his death.
Princess Rhaenyra.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm presenting you with a choice.
Oh, I just love seeing the dragons. Anytime we get to.
Swear anew your oath to Rhaenyra as your queen. Prince Lucerys as the heir to the Iron Throne. If you support the usurper, speak it now. And you will have a clean and honourable death. If you swear fealty now, only to later turn your cloaks. Know
It's
that
not
you
going
will
well
die.
for her.
Let us help you.
She delivering the baby herself?
She is.
Did its head just hit the floor?
I think that's what happened. Yeah.
Oh no. Okay, this is hard to watch.
Oh, is she wrapping it like they do to everybody else? Yeah.
That was his first child.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, with her. Yeah.
I mean no harm, brothers. I swear to ward the Queen.
What the hell?
Did he steal the crown in all the madness? This guy's coming up
the
big.
crown? He took the crown.
And he escaped and got away with it.
Oh, see, he knew how bad Aegon was, though.
Obey her commands. Ride at her side and defend her name and honor.
Oh, is she going to wear the crown?
Wow.
Oh, there it is.
What a... Oh, here we go.
Oh, now, is she going to do it? I thought she'd pledge her allegiance as well.
God doesn't leave her a lot of time to grieve the loss of her child.
No, not at all. Oh, setting the battle plans. Here we go.
Okay, that's badass.
That really is. First backlit television.
Your Grace.
Thank you, Rhaenyra.
Got Rhaenyra, Rhaena. Hard to keep track.
That's what I was thinking.
Dragonstone is relatively easy to defend, but as an instrument of conquest, our army leaves a lot to be desired.
The Vale will not turn cloak against their own kin. Lord Grover is fickle and easily swayed. He will need to be convinced of the strength of our position, and that we will support him should it come to war.
I'm going to treat with him myself.
There has never lived a Stark who forgot an oath, and with House Stark, the North will follow.
Stark!
The Velaryon fleet is in my husband's yoke.
We shall pray for both you and your husband's support. There's no port on the narrow sea would dare to make an enemy of the Velaryon fleet.
We have no friends among the Lannisters. Tywin has served the hand too long to
If
turn
she could
against
just
him.
bring her old husband back, that would really smooth things over.
Your cause owns a power that has not been seen in this world since the days of old Valyria. Dragons.
The Greens have dragons.
They have
as
3
well.
adults, by my count.
Daemon, none of our dragons have been to war.
There are also unclaimed dragons. Then there are the 3 wild dragons, all of whom nest here. I also have a score of eggs incubating in the Dragon Mound.
Your Grace, a lone galleon flying a banner of a 3-headed green dragon.
Okay.
You almost wonder if they're going to try to give a dragon to every kid, or are they going to put... Do they have other dragon riders that he can put on those 13?
I don't know, but it's a pretty big advantage when you have 3 times as many dragons.
Yeah, even if they're not fully trained.
I've been directed to deliver her message only to Princess Rhaenyra.
You mean Queen Rhaenyra?
I'm Queen Rhaenyra now, and you all are traitors to the realm.
Acknowledge Aegon as king and swear obeisance before the Iron Throne. In exchange, His Grace will confirm your possession of Dragonstone. It will pass to your true-born son,
That's not
Lucerys, upon
happening.
your death. Lucerys will be confirmed as the legitimate heir to Driftmark, Aegon the Younger as the king's squire, Viserys as his cupbearer.
I would rather feed my sons to the dragons than have them carry shields and cups.
Aegon Targaryen sits the Iron Throne.
Stark, Tully, and Baratheon all swore to me.
Stale oaths will not put you on the Iron Throne, Princess.
You are no more hand than Aegon is king. Fucking traitor.
Calling him out.
The realm can carry on in peace. Queen Alicent eagerly awaits your answer.
She can have her answer now, stuffed in her father's mouth along with his withered cock. Let's end this mummer's farce.
King's Landing will have my answer
Is she
on
considering it?
Dragons can kill dragons, and have.
When dragons flew to war, everything burned.
Are you considering the Hightower's terms, Your Grace?
As Queen, what is my true duty to the realm? Ensuring peace and unity, or that I sit the Iron Throne no matter the cost?
That's your father talking.
My father's
That's a good
dead.
point, man. Those dragons come through, they just ruin everything. Oh, that's a really good point.
Yeah.
Wow.
To defend the realm, not cast it headlong into war.
The enemy have declared war.
Clear the room.
He's got a good point too. She's like, "Oh, I don't want to go to war." It's like, well, look what they did.
Yeah.
They were plotting before he even passed.
Yep, the whole time.
Hightower Alicent didn't even need to say anything. They'd been plotting all along.
Yeah, and now they're backed into a corner.
You know, my oath reaches beyond our personal ambitions. The coming war against the darkness in the north, the conqueror's dream. Sarah shared it with me when he named me heir.
Whoa.
Whoa, easy, easy, easy.
Dreams didn't make us kings. Dragons did.
What is he doing?
I never told you.
Get the feeling Daemon's gonna do it anyways. Hey,
there he is.
There's,
oh, man.
There's Corlys.
I've had men whipped for falling asleep on their watch.
You abandoned me. Both our children stolen from us. I needed you, and you abandoned us for more adventure at sea.
I had no other place to turn. I'd lost everything.
We lost Corlys.
I understand we have a new king.
Man, do you think their son is gonna pop up again? I just got that feeling.
I'm not sure what's gonna happen. He might bring some troops from wherever he's at. Who knows?
Our pursuit of the Iron Throne is at an end. We shall declare for no one to be content with our grandchildren.
Oh, shit.
Oh, they're just gonna pull everything in their ships?
Rhaenyra was complicit in our son's death. The girl destroys everything she touches.
That girl is holding the realm together at present. Rhaenyra is the only one who's demonstrated restraint.
It brings much relief to see you hale and healthy again.
I'm very sorry about your father, Princess. Your declared allies?
Yes.
Too few to win a war for the throne.
Both Arryn and Baratheon share blood with my house, but all of them swore oaths to me.
As did House Hightower, if I remember.
As did you.
Oh.
This Hightower treason cannot stand. You have the full support of our fleet and house.
Oh, there it is.
All right.
I made a promise to my father to hold the realm strong and united. I wish to know who my allies are before I send them to war.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
A total blockade of the shipping lanes will be in place in days, if not already.
Oh.
We can cut off all seaborne travel and trade to King's Landing.
I should take Maelys and patrol the gullet myself.
They're gonna get nothing.
We must first secure the support of Winterfell, the Eyrie, and Storm's End.
We should bear those messages. Dragons can fly faster than ravens.
That's all he does.
This guy's on it with those ravens.
Very well.
A bird shows up or two dragons.
Who are you gonna listen to?
If we are to serve the Seven Kingdoms, we must answer to their gods. If you take this errand, you go as messengers, not as warriors. Swear it to me, now.
I swear it.
I swear it.
You think he had the fingers crossed?
I think the older one's itching to let his dragon do some damage.
I expect you will receive a very warm welcome. Go to it then.
Go on, now. Go get your dragons.
You suppose it's kind of like...
Go to it then.
You suppose it's kind of like when mom sends out the boys for the first time in their cars after getting their license? Oh, it's getting good.
I think you got to deal with turbulence when you're riding a dragon.
I think the dragon deals with it. I think you just got to hold on.
All right. Oh, there's a dragon there somewhere.
Yep.
What is it doing?
Heating up the forge, maybe?
Yeah, I don't recall hearing. Okay, this one looks massive.
Yeah.
Oh, that is so badass. They don't seem to care much.
No.
The kid just flew in on a dragon. Wait, what?
Holy shit.
Whose dragon is that?
Princess Viserys Velaryon.
That's not Daemon's, I don't think. That thing's way bigger.
What is going on there?
Unless does he have a dragon?
No, is that what's
the
his?
Greens?
Yeah. Not Aegon, but Aemond.
That's right, because he said he had the biggest dragon, right?
Oh, is that Aemond's dragon?
Oh, he got there already.
He got there already.
I brought you a message from my mother.
Yet earlier this day, I received an envoy from the king. The House of the Dragon does not seem to know who rules it.
Why do I get the feeling the prince here is in a lot of danger?
King Aegon at least came with an offer. My swords and banners for a marriage pact. If I do as your mother bids, which one of my daughters will you wed?
I'm not free to marry. I'm already betrothed.
So you come with empty hands. Go home, pup.
Wait, my Lord Strong. Did you really think
that you could just fly about the realm.
Oh, he called him by his real father's name.
I will not fight you.
Fight would be little challenge. I want you to put out your eye as payment for mine. I would not blind you. I plan to make a gift of it to my mother.
No.
Then you are craven as well as a traitor.
The boy came as an envoy. Take Prince Lucerys back to his dragon.
Dragon is so huge that could have him for lunch.
Oh, where's the other one? Oh,
I
have a bad feeling about this.
Yeah. Oh, it's right above him, and he's huge. He's got to get out of this. Well, being smaller, he should be more maneuverable.
He should be a little bit shiftier, right?
Yeah.
Oh, he's still just going to fly overhead.
Yeah, just wait for him. Whoa! Oh, he didn't want him to. There you go. Oh! Oh, he ripped him in half.
Oh my God. Dude.
He was telling him not to as well.
Oh my God, he just ripped him in half.
All that's left is the wings. He just ate the prince. Oh boy, this is not gonna go well.
Oh my God, and Daemon's gonna bring the new.
Yep.
No, he was just downstairs. Or does he?
Well, I mean, the word's gonna come once he doesn't come back home.
No, mind you, she just lost a baby not long ago, and now she just lost one.
Lost another son. Man, he just got snapped in half like a treat. Because both of them didn't want the dragons to fight.
Oh, she's pissed.
Yep. That might have changed things.
Well, now you've done it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
That's what they're gonna hook us with.
That's it.
Unbelievable, guys! What a season it was for House of the Dragon. You know, one of the highlights of this show is always seeing the dragons. For me, I always really like seeing them. And we didn't necessarily get a dragon battle, but the way they showed them flying through the clouds and in between the caverns and whatnot was super cool. And I had a feeling that the prince was in danger, but I didn't expect him to get chomped in half like some kind of dog treat. That was insane. And now I say it's all off the table. Now we're going to war here in the rest of the seasons. That's what I think. Really heavy episode.
Yeah, you know, one of the points that they brought up earlier on in this season that we didn't see so much in Game of Thrones is talking about the size discrepancy of the dragons.
Mm-hmm.
If I recall correctly, in Game of Thrones, all three of the dragons
they're pretty much the same.
Roughly about the same size. Now, that may make sense if there were the three eggs, you know, all laid by the same mother dragon. It would make sense. I'm sure there's, and help us out in the comments below. I'm sure just like there's different, you know, breeds of certain animals here. Just take bears, for example. You know, there's probably different breeds of dragons and things like that. We know in the Potter series, there's different types of dragons. But it was interesting to see just how massive the size discrepancy is with the dragons here. And I think a big point of that was, you know, they talked about it. Daemon said, well, we have this many dragons.
Yeah, we have 13 of them.
We have 13 dragons and they have 4. Well, I got to be honest, like Aemond's dragon,
if it wanted to.
Yeah, I think that dragon clearly, if it wanted to, could take out 2, 3, 4 smaller ones pretty handedly. Now, it appeared as if, you know, they keep talking about how it's interesting the scene that they showed with the Daemon's dragon, because they keep talking about how Aemond's now is the largest. But man, that dragon that Daemon was talking or was in front of looked massive. I mean, looked absolutely massive. So I think it's going to be really interesting. I did like the point that Rhaenyra brought up about having dragons go to war, and like if you use them for how they are most effective, and that of course is their fire breathing, like what are you left with after war? I mean, if you remember the scene in Game of Thrones where she just flies through and torches everything. So we've seen examples of the amount of damage that dragons can do. And if the idea is to rule a kingdom and you have a dragon war, I mean, really, what's
left?
What's left of it? I mean, if you're burning down castles, if you're just torching cities, and
not to mention all the
villages and
people
wards
you would lose.
and the people. So look, war is terrible any way you spin it. But at the end of the day, I think you have just a drastically more significant amount of damage from the potential dragon war. Now, after losing her son, now we still don't know what happened to the other son.
Yeah.
Right? We just saw that she lost the younger boy that went out to deliver the message. And it was...
And that was supposed to be the safer trip of the two.
That was supposed to be the safer trip of the two. They said they were going to welcome him. They didn't really welcome him. Now, he did say, my father swore allegiance. And of course, we go back to this story of who can we marry off?
Yeah.
Who's going to marry one of my daughters?
Yeah.
It is interesting that Aemond didn't. I think he just wanted to scare him almost.
Yeah, I don't think he meant to chomp him in half.
Didn't. Well, he also, when he was flying above him, didn't give the Dracarys order.
Yeah, he could have right then and there.
Yeah, he could have the whole time, or he could have instructed it to attack. So I think he was just more messing with him than anything else. Which I'm not saying he, all of a sudden his character's nice, but I think that was very much an accident. And they did make a point of saying, "Obey me, no, don't do that." And I think. Jacerys's dragon, spit the fire at Aemond's dragon, and he said, "No, that's not what we're trying to do."
Yep. That's what happens when teenage boys are playing with weapons they don't understand.
But this whole episode, I thought was really good. It wasn't quite as dramatic as I thought it would be. For me, the ending of the last episode. With Rhaenys and the dragon coming up through the floor, and just the close-up shot of it, not breathing fire but roaring, I thought was pretty incredible. So this was a little bit, it wasn't quite for me as like holy shit.
Yeah, this wasn't the big
last one,
the big blockbuster ending you're talking about.
But this is very much a setup for next season and an intense setup. At that, so just so many things going on. It's interesting to see who pledged loyalty, who didn't. We had talk of the Stark house and the Baratheon house.
Yeah, it was good to hear those names.
Trying to pledge loyalty, but I do I don't want to come across like I'm speaking poorly of this episode, because I think what they're trying to get across is that, look, Rhaenyra is taking everything into deep consideration as to whether they should go to war. She's trying to avoid going to war, but at the end of the day, she feels that the crown is hers. So I liked the way they played that out. I liked Corlys coming back and saying, look, you have our support. Now, if they're shutting down the seas,
no food,
shipping
no
lanes, no nothing, and I don't know the land well enough to know whether those other armies can come by land or if they have to come by sea.
That's a good question, because they've only just started showing us maps in this episode.
So how much support can they get by land, or do them blocking off those channels, does that cut off them getting any sort of reinforcements? So it's a lot of very interesting planning that's going forward into next season, but I thought this season as a whole was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
If we're going to take a minute and talk about the entire season, I thought it was great. I thought they did such a good job with character development. They had enough action to keep you involved. We got the dragons. So much plotting and scheming that kept you just like sucked in. I think that's the big thing that they really did with this, is they keep you so invested, right? It's like every episode you're like, oh my God, what are they doing? What's going on with this? And they just suck you in, and they keep your attention. And we've said this a handful of times, and look, we don't want to keep comparing this to Rings of Power, right? But it's I'm going to, because it's at the same.
You have to. They're both fantasy.
I know
movie
they're different
shows
stories,
that
but they're
come
both
out
fantasy stuff
same
like
time.
That. I think the same time is the biggest.
Yeah, everybody's
And it's
Not
not like they're
everybody, but there's
necessarily competing.
comparisons, yeah.
But when I watched House of Dragons, I found myself like just really just every episode just glued to the TV, just like wanting more. When the episode was done, I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait to see what happens next time. I wasn't like, oh, here we go. We'll watch the next one. You know, at the end of Rings of Power, I did feel like they stepped it up a little bit. But you know, and people's kind of explanation for that was, well, they're on for 5 seasons, so they have to do a little bit of world building, right? But this is a multi-season venture, and they didn't waste any time getting into the good stuff. Now, I also will say that we're talking about very different source material, so it isn't a fair comparison. Look, Lord of the Rings in general, those stories, and in turn, the Rings of Power,
Tolkien's work.
It doesn't have the violence. It doesn't. I mean, it has the battles, but let's be honest, it doesn't have the same sort of graphic violence. It doesn't have the adult content. Nobody's partying in Rings of Power. But the reason that I bring up the comparison is just to emphasize like how much every single episode of House of the Dragon just sucks you in. And keeps you invested. The character development, good, bad, and otherwise, I thought was phenomenal. You know, the internet was going wild.
It was going
last
crazy.
week after our buddy and his little foot fetish with the Queen, which interestingly enough, he was nowhere to be seen in this episode.
No.
They're like, you know what? After the foot thing, we're gonna give him a break.
And the one thing that I'll close with that I think is super important anytime you have shows like this where you have, I guess I'll say, non-traditional names of characters, is the casting is so critical that everybody has to look a little bit different, carry themselves differently. It's so important to have cast members that you won't confuse as a viewer. Be like, oh, is that guy? No, I think it's him. So bravo to House of Dragon for just an amazing casting of people that, even with using non-traditional names, if you will, was very easy for somebody like me to follow who had only seen Game of Thrones once. So big shout out to them.
Yeah, I thought let's talk about that for just a second longer. The casting, I mean, everybody and the people that you wanted to hate. Look, I'm sure Hightower's character is a nice guy in real life, but oh man, did he make you hate it. And then Aemond, the second son with the eye missing, just like such a badass, like evil guy, and the oldest son. And I mean, look, they really just from A to Z, all aspects of this show just knocked it out of the park. An incredible first season, and I am excited to come back for season 2 and see what plays out after Rhaenyra is now calling herself the queen.
Well, guys, drop the comments below. Let us know your thoughts on House of the Dragon. For the Appleton Oak, I am Mason Quinn, and we will see you guys on the next one.